Welcome, everyone, to today's City Council meeting, Monday, July 8th, 2024. I now call this meeting to order. Roll call, please.
District 1, Councilmember Casey.
Present.
District 2, Councilmember Vieira.
Yes.
District 4, Councilmember Martinez.
Present.
District 3, Vice Mayor Silvera.
Here.
Mayor Lopez.
Here. Everybody, please stand for the invocation by Pastor Dave Broyles from the Bethel Tabernacle. I hope I didn't mispronounce that last one. And then followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, sir. I've heard that it's been a while since you've been here in the chambers.
Bow your heads with me. Father, I want to thank you for those who serve our community, serve our city. Thank you for the time that they put in. We ask tonight for your wisdom for them. They will make decisions that will better serve our community, better serve our city. Thank you in Jesus' name. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Nation, God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
I decided to move two presentations forward from reports by Chief Wise and Chief Perry in regards to the fireworks information and data that I requested, and hopefully they can give the public some information that they might need. We can start off with Chief Wise. Welcome, sir.
Yes. Good evening, Mayor and Council. On behalf of the Fire Department, just a quick report of the 4th of July. Fairly typical. We obviously get a little more busy on the 4th of July. This last 4th of July was very busy in Ceres and our other agencies that we respond into. So in the city of Ceres, we responded to 43 calls for service. On average, we generally average about 16 to 20 calls per day in Ceres, so this was double our normal. We ran 11 vegetation fires and 2 working structure fires. Some of those are still under investigation, and some of those were caused by illegal fireworks. One structure did sustain approximately $160,000 worth of damage. Very probable that it was due to illegal fireworks, catching cypress trees on fire and spreading into the structure. End of my report.
Thank you, Chief Wise. Chief Perry.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council, members of the public. This year, during 4th of July, we're very busy as well. We were only able to staff extra dedicated patrol units with 1 2-officer vehicle that was dedicated to driving around to enforce fireworks. We did that for a period of, excuse me, 4 days, July 2nd, excuse me, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. On July 4th alone, just during the night shift, we had 170 calls for service just on the night shift on July 4th alone. Total from July 1st to July 6th, we had 808 calls for service. 88 of those calls were fireworks related. We issued 6 administrative citations this year for firework calls. It should certainly be noted that during these patrols, our officers also responded to 2 rollover car collisions, where one of them ended up as a fatal car crash. Not related to 4th of July, but these type of calls take a lot of our time from our officers to handle these investigations. So we were very busy, but all in all, no major incidents to report from the police as it related to illegal fireworks or anything like that, other than the nuisance. That's all I have.
Thank you very much. Moving on to citizens' communications. While the city council welcomes and encourages participation in city council meetings, adopted rules allow no more than 5 minutes, Resolution 2007-106, for expression of non-agenda items. Matters under the jurisdiction of the city council and not on the posted agenda may be addressed by the general public. However, California law prohibits city council from taking any action on any matter which is not on the posted agenda unless it is determined to be an emergency by the city council. Citizens are entitled to address the city council on any agenda item subject to the 5-minute provision. Anyone wishing to address the city council must adhere to the rules of decorum. The rules of decorum are posted outside of the chamber doors. Are there any hands raised on Zoom?
There are no hands raised on Zoom.
Okay, we'll open up the public period here in the chambers. I don't have any yellow cards, but is there any members of the public that would like to come up and speak? Please state your name. Now is the time.
Uniquely serious. Every year we have a problem with that fireworks thing. Some people like fireworks, that's fine, but when it involves the damage and severe injuries to people, we look at it, then it continues on the next year, the next year, the next year. If I'm correct, when the police department goes out, or the fire department finds these aerial fireworks going up and stuff, I assume from those are administrative citations, meaning that whatever they're cited for, the fine, that money goes to the city and the city only and not the county. In the past, there was issues about collection. And this has been going on for several years, and I don't think we got a definitive answer on the process and if any of these people in the last probably 10 years have paid their fines. Are they just lingering? And there was an issue, are they going to go to collections and what have you? How many people do they know of and that have been cited that haven't paid these fines through many years now? I hear that from one council meeting that there was just a couple out of 50 or more through the years probably. So city manager, city clerk, whoever takes care of this, can we get an answer on, are these being collected? Or are they just delinquent? Or, you know, we don't have the status on it anymore. And I think the general public would like to know that, not to be mean to the people, but they are violating. We all have rules, and that's one of the rules, no aerial fireworks. And, you know, an injury, I think one year over on Eastgate, somebody shot some kind of aerial fireworks and it fell on some lady or her son or something and injured them. So I just want an explanation on what's going on with that. And, you know, do they follow up on these people that have been cited for several years? Nobody likes a fine, but it's there for, and I think it's a good thing. On the next note, I like seeing all these people behind me. Hope they come to council meetings if they live in town, but thanks for coming.
Thank you, Mr. Yeagley. Is there anybody else?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members. My name is Joshua Lepper, longtime resident, Ceres, Hensley, Ceres High School. My roots are deep in this area. Who are all these people here today? Probably recognize many of them. I want to take just a brief few seconds to introduce these people. I want you to know the people behind me are your finance department. They're your engineering department. They're your building maintenance department. They're your janitorial department. They're your parks. They're your streets. They're your water, wastewater, code enforcement, fleet, IT, community service officers, police records, police dispatching. City of Ceres takes an army of individuals, takes leaders, leadership skills, recognize the workers, do the work. We're here today. You see us. Know you know we're important to this city. Know you know we're the backbone of this city. Know you know this city wouldn't run wasn't for these people in the room, ones who weren't able to make it tonight. I want a depth of understanding of what it takes to run an organization, not in a microcosm, not in a bubble, real people living in this world, making their way for them and their families. Just consideration. Their livelihood, their future, their stability. Council does implement policy, direction. Staff turns that into operations. We go out, do the hard work. No police dispatching has been overwhelmed. Long time argument. Hoping today, by you seeing each and every one of us here, you know what's important to us. Want it to be important to you. Pause, not because I'm at a loss for words. Not. Pause because I want you to marinate on it. Think about that. Being a leader is not easy. It is selfless. These men and women and staff, your leadership are what make this city tick. I think it's proposed, they would say. Together, we achieve. Not divided, together. Hoping that our presence resonates. To think of us as the evening goes on. Because here, we're here because we're dedicated to this city and we're hopeful there's reciprocity in that relationship. Thank you all behind me for your service every day. Thank you. Thank you all, staff, for your leadership, council, direction. Thank you.
Thank you, Josh. Is there anybody else? I don't see any hands raised. Is there any emails?
There were no emails received.
I'm now closing the public period. Moving on, is there any conflicts of interest by the city council? Seeing none. Moving on to consent calendar. All matters listed on the consent calendar are considered routine in nature and will be enacted by a single motion unless otherwise requested by an individual council member or public for special consideration. Otherwise, the recommendation of staff will be acted upon by a roll call vote. I do have a couple items I would like to pull. I would like to pull item number 5, 6, 7, 8, 12, and 13. Moving on to Mr. Councilmember Martinez, what items would you like to pull?
5 and 14.
And 14. Okay. Councilmember Rosalinda, what items would you like to pull?
9 and 10.
9 and 10. 9 and 10. Mr. Casey, were you going to pull the same ones? They already been pulled? Okay. Bring this item back, bring this back to council for motion on the rest that have not been pulled.
Mayor, if I may interject.
Yes, you may.
Can you please read the note regarding item 15?
This is number
It's in your mayor's notes.
This is for 14, right?
Correct.
For 14, the completion of the audio-visual equipment upgrades to council. This budget amendment is reappropriating funds previously approved by project management that have not been used. Is, it's been pulled, by the way.
Correct. Okay, we'll have you read it whenever it's pulled. It's in your mayor's notes, right under conflict of interest.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Prior to.
I was
consent.
reading the green
No-
sheet
no
that you
problem.
had given me. Yes, and then item number 14, there is a correction to attachment C of item 14 regarding the audiovisual upgrades in the council chambers. An incorrect budget amendment was included with the agenda packet. The correct budget amendment has been copied on the green sheet and can be reviewed in the public agenda packet binder. That's correct. Okay. So I bring this item back for a motion on those that have not been pulled. I'm sorry, any members of the public, thanks for the reminder, would like to pull any items?
Items that I would like pulled are 5 and 14, and they've already been pulled. So thank you very
Thank you,
much.
Mr. Warren. Anybody else? Okay, bring this item back for a motion.
Move to approve 1 through 4, 11, 15, 16,
17.
and 17.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Casey. Councilmember Vieira.
Yes.
Councilmember Martinez,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Silvera,
Yes.
and Mayor Lopez.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Starting with item number 5, resolution number 2024 XX, approving the updated use of the range revenue funds received from the rental of the Sirius Police Range. And this goes to Chief Perry. I'm going to start off with my question. My question is, in regards to the account, in 2009, the account had $9,540. I don't know that the finance director has some information in regards to what the account has currently. Unless the city manager was going to tell me that number, if you have it already. What do we have in that account currently?
It's roughly a little over $120,000.
$120,000? Okay. That is the only question that I had. Is there any members of the public that have any questions? I'll just go to them first. On item number 5. You pulled item number 5, correct, Warren?
I think all of you on city council received the email that I sent regarding this item. And so it's not necessarily kind of beat a dead horse here. Police officer ranges are very near and dear to my heart. I was a range officer for my entire career, and I was also a range supervisor. Funding to improve range facilities, sometimes in most police departments, is very hard to get. All the council meetings that I've attended over the years, I don't remember ever hearing a request for improvements to be made. And I do know personally that improvements are needed out there. That's what this fund is designed to do, is for improvements, not maintenance. Maintenance of that police department range is the maintenance of any city facility and building, and it should be budgeted within the city budget in the process. So when things are needed out there, classrooms, permanent bathroom facilities, things like this that would make that range a better place for training. The agencies that come and rent and lease and have contracts to use that facility expect to see improvements as the years go by, and the training needs change from each department. The training that our officers need today is astronomical, and a facility for that is here in Ceres that a lot of our brother and sister police, they pay for that. They expect that to take place. Maintenance of those facilities should come out of regular budgeted items. It should not come out of this fund. please do not rob this fund for maintenance items. Allow it to be used what is intended, and that is to improve the range facilities. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Warren. Any other members of the public have any comments on this item? Yeah, bring this back to the council. Mr. Martinez, you had a comment or question?
Yes, Chief, currently, what is the rental fee for the 7 agencies that are using our facility?
I don't have an exact figure, as each agency that uses the range, from my understanding, gets charged a different fee.
Yes, sir.
So, for example, we may have DA's office that maybe only uses the range twice a year. Their fee is not going to be as great as, let's say, CHP that uses it twice a month. So the fees differ per agency.
Sir, and were those fees established in 2009?
Potentially, I do believe that all of the fees were just recently reassessed,
Okay.
if I'm not mistaken. And maybe the last year, is that right, Captain?
Okay.
Yeah, so within the last year, I believe all the fees were reassessed and redistributed out to all the agencies that use the range.
Okay, thank you. That eliminates my next question. Thank you, sir.
Any other council members have any questions?
I'll move to approve item number 5 of the consent calendar.
Second.
You get a roll call, please.
I'm sorry, did you open that up for public comment?
Did already.
Yeah, we did, yeah. And we asked if there's any questions or comments. Well, thank you for checking in.
Councilmember Casey?
No.
Councilmember Vieira?
Yes.
Councilmember Martinez?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Silvera?
Yes.
Mayor Lopez?
No.
Motion carries 3-2.
I pulled 6, 7, and 8. It's a similar question, bill transfer, all 3 of them. So the funding is not coming out of general fund for none of these 3 projects, correct?
That is correct.
And and I know that it's inside the agenda, but just so the public knows, the funding is coming out of what accounts?
So the funding for both projects is actually coming out of the Sewer Enterprise Fund.
Okay. That is all. Any comments or questions from the public? Mr. Warren, was this one of the items you had wanted to pull or no? Okay, 14, okay. Anybody else in the public that would like to make a comment or question? Bring this item back to the council. Any comments or question for item number 6?
Move to approve number 6.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Casey?
Yes.
Councilmember Vieira?
Yes.
Councilmember Martinez?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Silvera?
Yes.
Mayor Lopez?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Item number 7 was the same exact question, but I'll open this up to the public. Any members of the public would like to make a comment or questions on item number 7? And make sure, I know that we're back on Zoom, make sure there's hands raised. Just let me know, please. Bring this back to the council for any comments or questions. Seeing none.
Move to approve number 7.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Casey?
Yes.
Councilmember Vieira?
Yes.
Councilmember Martinez?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Silvera?
Yes.
Mayor Lopez?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Item number 8, I had pulled this and this one was also clarified to me. Any members of the public have any comments or questions? Seeing none, bring this back to the council.
Move to approve item 8.
I did open it to the public. I didn't see any hands raised. Any comments or questions from the council before we motion? Seeing none? Going back for a motion. Number 8, there's a motion on the table.
Motion.
Looking
I'll
for a
second
second.
it.
Second. She second.
Councilmember Casey?
Yes.
Councilmember Vieira?
Yes.
Councilmember Martinez?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Silvera?
Yes.
Mayor Lopez?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Item number 9, I'm not too sure who was the one who pulled this item.
I did, Mayor.
Okay.
I
Councilmember
just want to
Linda.
confirm that we're in compliance with the act regarding using different auditors, so we're not becoming compliant. That's it.
Councilmember Vieira, I can answer that question. It's a best practices change that triggered the which we're looking for alternatives. Unfortunately, due to the necessary actions we had to take to find an auditor to actually conduct the audit within the time frame to meet the statutory requirements, at least for this go around, we went back with the previous auditor. So it's, again, more of a best practices question that we'll pick up as soon as we can, but it was more critical to get the audit done within the statutory time frame.
Okay, and that's still in compliance with the Sarbanes-Oxley Act, where we're not using the same auditor for so many years.
Yeah, I think we're still within that time frame if Jen can.
Councilmember Sarbanes-Oxley of 2002 applies to publicly traded companies, of which the city of Ceres is not. So that wouldn't apply to us.
We're not.
We're not a publicly traded.
No, I
company.
understand that. My next question, which was brought up last year, I believe by Councilmember Casey, was making sure we're not being complicit by using the same auditor that just kind of check marks everything and not necessarily checking everything. And so I just want to make sure that that's still something that we're addressing and making sure that's not happening, which was the same concern we had last year that Casey had brought up.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Martinez?
Nubia, would you be able to just break down if this were to not pass tonight, what the next step on this item would be?
Next steps following this. So the council approving this contract would then allow the city manager to execute the agreement with the auditor so that we can move forward to complete the necessary audits to meet the statutory timeframe.
And if the item was to not pass resolution tonight?
And if we don't have authorization from the council to enter into the agreement, then we'd be facing a situation where we'd have to potentially look for another auditor and most likely not meet the deadlines that we have to meet in order to get the audit completed. Again, staff can chime in if I'm wrong here, but again, this is a very time-sensitive issue, and that's why we're bringing it to council now. Again, I believe we had identified this before as an issue because the time frame in which to find an auditor can sometimes take a while. And the previous auditor, again, for purposes of historical knowledge, was able to step in or will be able to step in rather quickly so that we can get this done. Without that, we're facing other possible issues that I don't think we want to be down the road of not meeting our auditing requirements on time.
Unless there's any questions from the council, I'll take it back out. Is anybody else out there who would like to make a comment on this item? Seeing none, bring this back to council for a motion.
Move to approve number 9.
Second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Casey,
Yes.
Councilmember Vieira,
No.
Councilmember Martinez,
No.
Vice Mayor Silvera,
Yes.
Mayor Lopez.
Yes.
Motion carries 3-2.
Item number 10. Sorry, who pulled item number 10? Was Linda, was that you as well? Okay.
Warren was 14.
And Mr. Warren, that was one of yours as well? No, he's 14. Okay. I'll get it down. Councilmember Rosalinda, you're up.
It's okay. There's a lot pulled tonight. I guess I had a couple questions. One was confirming the location. Is it affecting other staff and other areas? Have they found other areas to be reassigned to? The next one is going to be regarding sanitation. Are people showering before they get in and out? What's happening with their sweat, body odor, that kind of stuff? How is the ice getting to the ice bath? Will that create a fall hazard? And then in regards to the chemicals, how is that going to go regarding ongoing chemicals and as well as sanitation and cleanup, and how is that being expensed? Is that something from the general fund, or is that something that's going to be allocated through other ways or means?
I'll try to remember all of those. But yes, so a room downstairs in the police building has been designated to put both of these units, the sauna and the ice bath. The room is located just down from the PD gym and both locker rooms. The room will be outfitted accordingly with anti-slip mats and whatnot to prevent any kind of slip hazards. As it relates to the ice bath, it doesn't use ice. It gets to 40 degrees in temperature. It can also actually get to 104 degrees, so it can also be a hot bath as well. Upon ordering, we're ordering it with a few different sets of startup chemicals to last it a while. I believe it has to be reconditioned about only once every 6 months as far as the change of the water. And then during that, it's a chemical process, kind of like your standard hot tub or swimming pool. But only about once every 6 months, you actually have to change the water. The room that we're designating this in has a drain already and has a water supply line in the room. So that works out really well for filling and draining the unit. As it relates to the sauna, it's a dry sauna. It's an infrared sauna. It does produce you to sweat, and there'll be some maintenance signs that are put up, to put towels down, when you're seated in it and things like that. But we will have the area set up on a routine cleaning schedule, more than likely just with our city janitorial staff, but very simple. I mean, something like changing the garbage in there and maybe wiping down glass. Not even often, because it really doesn't produce that. This is the same unit that they have at Stanford in their physical therapy department. And it's designed for commercial use of an application of such. So we actually did a lot of research when picking these units out. They're very professional and again, done in very high level areas of physical therapy type stuff. So.
And clarify one thing that you comment that you made, if I got it correctly, the water is only changed out every 6 months. So everyone's in the same water for 6 months?
Yeah, changed out, but it's chemicalized, again, just like a swimming pool or a hot tub. So after you use it, you add a scoop of sanitizer essentially in there. But then I believe it's 6 months. I mean, I could be off, but I believe it's like once every 6 months is what they recommend when you actually change all the water out and then you refresh with water back in it.
Thank you.
Any members of the public have any comments or questions on this item? Then I'll bring it back to council afterwards. No, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm having a side conversation. My apologies, Warrens. Go ahead. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. My apologies. Go ahead. I don't think your microphone's on. That's why I couldn't hear you. Let's take care of you, if you don't mind, Mr. Warren. Make sure that the public can hear you. Oh, we are on number 10. If you're ready. Yeah, so we're still on number 10. This does relate to item number. You're so on the money today. I hope those microphones are on that, Doug. They are. Mr. Warren, seems like it's working now.
Just relating to the benefit of this type of therapy for our police officers and the people that are in stressful situations every day. The California Highway Patrol Academy for years has maintained a hot sauna and a hot tub. And this is kind of like a hot tub where the water's heated up or it's cooled down. The pool therapy, I guess, is something that's new, that's developed the years that you therapy, and I think is a very good thing. And I think that this item should be considered to just vote. But the chemicals need to be checked daily. It's like a swimming pool. You have to check the pH and all that on a daily basis, or at least several times a week to make sure that's balanced. And so there's a little more to it than just, a lot of people have a swimming pool service that does this on a weekly basis. But with the number of people that would probably be using this, something like that should be done on a daily basis. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Warren. Is there anybody else in the public that'd like to make a comment? I'll bring this back to Councilmember Mr. Casey. Your button has been pressed, sir. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. To follow up on Mr. Warren's comment about daily maintenance, that part is a budgeted item that built in there.
Yeah, so we have an amount, a supply amount of the chemicals built in right now, but ultimately we will have to budget some funds in the future to keep up with that once we're out of what we currently are going to be able to get from the grant.
So, but does it require, because of the number of people and the importance of their health, to require somebody with a certain certificate certify that chemical balance is correct?
Not to my knowledge, no. It's a standard, like a test strip that you would test the water with. It'll tell you the balance of the water, and then you can just add some of the sanitizer accordingly until you get a neutral level on it. They're going to explain more to me, upon delivery, and there'll be a small training there as it relates. But from what I've been told so far, it's a standard half a scoop of the sanitizer that, after you get out, you put a half a scoop in or whatever. We will have to put a maintenance schedule on the wall. So on startup, we'll put the date of the startup chemical, and then we'll know from there when we need to do a swap out of water, and then, whole new refresh essentially. So there's a little bit of maintenance involved where we'll have to keep a schedule to keep it maintained and sanitized appropriately, yes.
Okay, then I have a question on the sauna. On the quote, it shows being shipped to Turlock. Is there a reason that we're having it shipped to Turlock?
So the relationship to Turlock is a business that offers these services, KW Recovery Labs, and they are actually getting ready to also open a business here in Ceres. They use the same exact equipment, and this was the first place where I saw this equipment in use and actually tried it out for myself. I was very impressed. Getting a quote directly from them, I don't know if you can see on your end, but the price let's just say $15,000. Well, going through KW, because they purchase a lot of these equipments, we were able to get a discount rate and get both the cold plunge and the sauna for a reduced price, saving us actually several $1,000s, and getting things like shipping waived and things like that. So that's the relation with KW, being that it was a Ceres business, and then they were able to kind of help us use their name to get a reduced rate for our police department.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Martinez, your button has been pressed.
Yes, sir, but my questions were asked. So thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. So now go back for a motion on this item. Okay, Ms. Rosalinda, go ahead. You're fine.
Sorry, I thought I pressed the button. I guess just based on your answer to Mr. Casey, you had mentioned that the chemicals, there wasn't a budget. How much money are we expecting to anticipate to hit the general budget?
I anticipate about less than $1,000 a year. Probably 2 startup refresh kits. Each one of those are just a little shy of $200, I believe. and then some of the sanitizer buckets that we'd probably need. So I would say maybe around $800 is what I would guess off the top of my head at this time.
Mr. Casey, you have pressed your button again, sir. Go ahead.
Sure, and to follow up, just for clarification, because of the number of people, this is not like my swimming. So will the chemicals, will the item be checked every day? Will it be checked? And so will that be somebody in police department, somebody in public works, or will we contract it out? Because the chemicals are incidental cost. It's the application of the person, doing that and certifying that it's safe to be used. Thank you again, Chief and Nate.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah, I don't know exactly how the schedule will work. We're gonna build out a schedule, where somebody might have to log in every time they, go into the unit or whatnot. So the next person that comes in, maybe see when the last person went in or whatnot, and they know when to check. We can have it set up on a schedule, again, even probably with our janitorial staff, where it just gets checked, once a day in the morning at a minimum by them. I haven't really worked out all the fine details of that yet. And even at this point, I'm not so certain how much use it's going to get. I did try this unit out myself, and although it was very amazing feeling, 40-degree water's probably not for everybody, so it just depends. I was able to do 3 minutes in the unit, and that's all I needed. So it's not typically a unit that you sit for long periods of time in. It's effective very fast when you do this. Matter of fact, they even told me 3 minutes was a really long time that I spent in it. But we are going to have to work that out, where it will need to be checked daily and probably before and after each use, no doubt about it.
Any additional comments or questions from the council? Bring this back for a motion.
Move to approve number 10.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Casey,
No,
Councilmember Vieira,
Yeah.
Councilmember Martinez,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Silvera,
Yes.
Mayor Lopez.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-1.
Moving to item number 12, this is more of a comment than any questions, Chief, in regards to the ratifying the application for the California Attorney General Tobacco Grant Program. My statement is tobacco grants from the Department of Justice such as these are a proactive measure not only to enforce the nationwide flavor ban and protect adults and minors, but also simultaneously, if it is seen, the unlawful sale of any unregulated CBD and marijuana products at smoke shops. The issue was brought to my attention as well as several agencies and Martinez several months ago, which I'm glad that you guys are applying for this. The grant is essential for securing the finances and tools needed to combat illegal tobacco and cigarette and e-cigarette operations. This is why I support this grant. Is there any members of the public who would like to make a comment or questions? I'll bring this back to the council for any comments and or questions. Motion.
I just want to also touch on that. The mayor, myself, city manager and chief, I believe it was still Chief Collins at the time. We sat down months ago and we discussed finding funds, finding a way to enforce people that are still selling flavored tobacco and items specifically geared towards children. So I'm very appreciative as a father of 3 young children myself that we're applying for and attempting to use these to enforce those. So I just want to say, Chief, Captain, I appreciate that. And with that, I will make a motion to approve item number 12.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Casey,
yes.
Councilmember Vieira,
Yes.
Councilmember Martinez.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Silvera.
Yes.
Mayor Lopez.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Moving on to item number 13, ratifying the application of the U.S. Department of Justice School Violence Prevention Grant Program. This is also a statement more than any questions in regards to this. Excuse me 1 second. Student safety is always on my mind as a coach who has spent hundreds of hours on campus, as well as many coaches on this stage. I recognize the importance of the award grant for the COPS and the DOJ. It is a testament to our ongoing commitment to public safety and implementation of new technologies by our police department. The continued relation with the school district to protect staff and students is paramount. So Chief, I know that you mentioned this to me a while back, and here we are. And I think that in the wake of everything that's happening in our country, I think this is going to be very beneficial. So thank you very much in the police department. Is there any comments or questions from the public? Seeing none, bring this item back to the council for any comments and or questions.
I'll make a motion to approve item 13 of the consent calendar.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Casey,
Yes.
Councilmember Vieira,
Yes.
Councilmember Martinez,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Silvera,
Yes.
Mayor Lopez.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Item number 14, approving a professional service agreement with VIP Audio Visual Company to perform audio visual upgrades to the council chambers, approving the budget amendment and authorizing the city manager to execute the agreement. I know that Warren, this is one of yours, but who else had pulled this item, by the way? Mr. Martinez? Okay, would you like for Mr. Warren to start first, or
Go ahead, John.
Mr. Warren, go ahead, item 14.
Thank you, council members. John Warren, City of Ceres. I think all of you received my comments in regarding to this matter. Tonight is just an example of what the audiovisual system doesn't do. It doesn't function. Obviously, if we change the batteries in this thing at the beginning of every council meeting, we wouldn't have this problem. But I don't know if someone's designated to be the battery changer for each meeting, kind of just like who's going to check the swimming pool over at the police department every day. Whether that will happen or not, none of us will ever know, and probably don't need to. But the company that has been tasked with maintaining the audio visual of these chambers has not done a good job, or has not had the proper funding to do the job that's needed. My suggestion is to make sure we find out what is needed, make that work in this facility, and to budget that money and to do the job. Don't keep throwing a little bit of money after it every once in a while and expect it to continue working. It doesn't work. Sometimes you folks up there have a hard time hearing the folks out here, and especially during comments. I mean, how can you make a decision if it's an emergency that you need to act on when you can't hear what the person is saying standing in front of you? So we have a hard time out here, especially if those of us that are hearing impaired as we get older in life. And the ADA says, hey, folks, you need to make sure that the citizens out here hear what's going on. Sometimes I'm sitting over there and I can't understand the person that's standing here, depending upon their gender, their age, and all the other things that affect this building. So please have a company come in here that can do the job. The company that has presently been doing the work has not been doing a very good job. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Casey. Is there anybody else in the audience who would like to make a comment on this item? See, and make sure that you let me know if there's any hand raised on Zoom. Mr. Martinez, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Warren. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. City Manager, I just wanted to confirm with you that VIP Audiovisual is not who we contracted out 2 years ago, correct?
That is correct, sir.
Thank you, sir. And then just to sort of piggyback on what Mr. Warren had said, moving forward, will we have the ability to get rechargeable microphones, something that we can charge at the end of every meeting that would be charged, obviously, and ready to go for our meetings, planning commission meetings, things of that nature? Is that an option that would save us on batteries and instances like this?
I don't know if there are rechargeable microphones out there. I could check with the consultant that's going to be doing the upgrades. What was quoted is the same type of wireless microphone that's currently being used at the podium. I know you asked about rechargeable, but fortunately, we're not able to hardwire the wireless microphones for the leadership team or for the podium. But again, I will look in to see what our options are with rechargeable.
Thank you, Fallon. Would you be able to also look in and see if VIP audio visual has an opportunity to put something in here that would allow the mayor to know who buzzed first so that there wouldn't be any confusion for the mayor. I know sometimes we all buzz and he has no idea who hit it first, and it gets confusing up here for all of us.
Yes, I can do that.
Thank you. That's it, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez. I know, Mr. Casey, I see your button has been pressed. Go ahead, sir. Councilmember, go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. You know, it's just not in this room that we have a problem. Occasionally, when it's not been canceled, I've listened to the planning commission meetings, and my hearing, like John mentioned out there, may be impaired, but my wife's hearing is beautiful. And we have a very difficult time hearing certain people. This position that I'm at and the position that Mr. Martinez is at, it comes in and goes out. I think that continuing working with the same company is not necessarily a bad idea. The bad idea is this is something that needs to be fixed before it's a problem, because the citizens can't understand what's being said. And as John mentioned, and I'm sure some of you must agree with me, occasionally the person at the podium is very difficult to understand. So I don't have an objection to using the same company, but we have to have some kind of assurance that it's going to work. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much.
One additional thing I would also like to add is that staff is reevaluating the layout of the council meetings to reflect more so of the layout pre-pandemic, where the audience is closer up, and perhaps that can help with being able to hear better.
Okay. Thank you very much. Council, bringing this back for a motion unless there's any additional comments.
Move to approve number 14.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Casey,
No.
Councilmember Vieira,
Yes.
Councilmember Martinez,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Silvera,
Yes.
Mayor Lopez,
Yes.
motion carries 4-1.
Moving on to council member referrals. Council members request to have an agenda item placed on the future agenda. Is there any? Okay, we have two buttons. I believe I saw Rosalinda's first. So Councilmember Rosalinda,
Well, there seems to be some kind of barrier with me getting some information. Although it seems to be going to some council members, but not necessarily all of us. So I just wanted to make a recommendation and maybe developing a policy, maybe with Nubia, to ensure that all future council members, irrespective of gender or marital statuses, are notified and invited in a timely manner to all ceremonial events and presentations of city certificates and events that do not violate the Brown Act, because my current experience is showing that I'm not getting the information, and it's hard to make assumptions. I don't know if it's possible to get properly notify all council members of upcoming events that do not violate the Brown Act, provide relevant information about the event, time to arrival, where to go, and allow all of us to participate in all events that don't apply when the Brown Act does not apply. I'm just kind of wanting to get a standardized procedure, maybe a neutral person such as the city clerk or the city manager, to help with timely notifications and relevant details.
thank you very much. So just be a nod or any questions?
I just have a question, Mr. Mayor. Would this be like the blind emails that city clerk already sends out to us with information like that, mixers and events that you usually email the council with all of us on it already?
I do send out those emails that you're mentioning.
Yes.
I, without having more information, I don't know what this policy would look like that Councilmember Vieira is requesting.
We'll work, the city attorney and myself will work together to bring this back.
Thank you. Is there any additional referrals, Councilmember Rosalinda?
No, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Martinez, you had your button pressed as well.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I actually had two. I was just wondering, a few meetings ago, I'd mentioned leaf and limb, wanting to see that brought back for a council item. Where were we at on that one?
That'll be on the next meeting, sir.
Perfect. Thank you. And I had one more. We're almost at that beautiful time of year where football season starts back up. So inevitably, we're going to be talking about the Crosstown Rivalry Parade. I would love to see a committee created with maybe a member of this council and the school board to get more involvement from both high schools. I know football is a big thing around here, but we also have baseball, basketball. We have a ton of other sports that I'm sure would love to be involved. Perhaps we could reach out and get parents, make it a citizens advisory committee, and find a way to make this parade bigger and more inclusive to all other activities that schools offer.
We can bring that back. Yes, sir. Keep in mind that first one you were talking about, that's coming back for council approval.
Yep.
Or consensus.
Thank you.
Any additional referrals from council members?
Mayor,
None?
I would just want to confirm that on the 2 items for referral, we have consensus from council on
Yeah.
both of them.
On all 3, yeah. Okay. All 3. Well, yours is coming back, so she's saying both of yours and Rosalind is the one that's not coming back. Okay, moving on to reports. I do have a report myself. After reaching out to Mayor Lisa Montero Moore and Darren Pompiano, a veteran from the Bay Area, visited us in Ceres, and Darren loves exploring historical places, so we took him to the iconic Whitmore Mansion. It was a fantastic day with a little bit of rain that night, and was grateful to our friend Lisa Montero Moore for guiding us through the tour and sharing the rich history of the beautiful landmark. And you can view this video in my Instagram page. I spent some time helping Central Valley High School with their fire booth and want to thank everyone that came out for support. And this year's raffle, a Big Bang winner was Fabian, so congratulations. The city of Ceres was invited by the San Jose Earthquakes to celebrate their big 50th anniversary. And I will actually allow Councilmember Martinez to give more details on that. I'm sure he would love to. And then moving on to that. Oh, by the way, before I forget, shout out to Cade Cowell. He is a Ceres native as a soccer player here, but he's right now currently, he's in, what do we talk about? He's with what team now? That's Chivas. There you go. See? And on the national team. So I just wanted to make sure we get that out there and give him props. And I just wanted to mention, I want to take a quick little moment about talk about our military active banners program. I went out and on Hatch Road and I was showing off John Thompson. He's a coach from Ceres High, represents a strong community leader, and I want to continue working hard to honor our veterans. I also stopped by the American Legion Memorial Center. We are eagerly awaiting to hear if we have been accepted to the $2.5 million grant to enhance that center. Doug, have we received any information just yet?
I have not, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. I also wanted to talk about public safety. It continues to be a priority. And in this month, I had a significant opportunity and honor attending several promotions, including promotions of Sergeant Vieira and Piñon, and the legendary promotion of Modesto's fire chief, of course. Wise, in addition to these achievements, Ceres hosted a law enforcement torch run, the city of Ceres, led by our amazing Special Olympics athletes with the participation of several agencies. And I want to thank Starbucks for coming out there, but especially Jeff Godfrey. I know he's not here. We're always putting together a remarkable event. Together we move mountains and there's no I and we achieve. And I received an email from Mr. Chavez. Has everyone seen the video? City staff shared a video in an email. Cheers to the second annual Sky's the Limit Balloon Festival. It was a great video. I decided to post it on my Instagram page to show the public. That was an awesome video. Mr. Chavez, who do you know who actually filmed that video? I just want to make sure I give them credits. Was it Don Cool? Okay, so I had it right. Okay, perfect. And I also wanted to mention the Concerts in the Park performance was fantastic last week. A huge thank to Irene and Ground Up Productions for always ensuring we have the best vendors out there, from local beer, Five Eye Brewing, Lemonade by Lemonade Express, and Hot Dogs and Churros by Vic's Churros and Ice Cream. We love supporting our small businesses out here in Ceres, and a shout out to the Concerts in the Park committee and Joey Chavez for always putting together a great Concerts in the Park. And I'll end it with this. On the 4th of July in the morning, we welcomed a Peace and Dignity Journey runners into Ceres, sponsored by MFH Tattoo Studios and George Gas Grill and Casa Cultura. And then in the evening, I went up to the Ceres Flea Market where they celebrated the American Independence Day with the South Modesto Business United, which was co-sponsored by the city of Ceres. We're a partner in the celebration, and they featured a drone display. And last but not least, I just want to congratulate Ceres Blaze Baseball for winning the 2024 West Zone Baseball Broncos Northeast Championship. And with that, next person, I'll go with Rosalinda Vieira, council member.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. First thing is housing, regarding homeless, we do have tomorrow is the Homeless Alliance meeting. I also have a follow-up meeting with Jim Cruz, with Stanislaus County Housing Authorities about possible developments in West Landing, which would bring affordable housing or at least subsidized housing into West Landing. We've also met with other developers interested in building West Landing. I'm just talking to Doug when I walked in. It looks like one of them wants to reschedule sooner, which is always a good thing to have, a good problem to have. Tuscany Village, I do know it's still in the court appointed representative. We are in contact with the developers and they are still just waiting next step from the court. We do have some offers that have been received, but again, we're waiting on the court to decide how they want to move forward. We know housing is much needed, although the infrastructure is one of the main reasons why it may take a year or two before we see progress in West Landing. But I look forward to that happening. Regarding economic development, I don't know if Julian's going to talk about the job fair coming up July 11th. It'll be here in the community center from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. I also was present for the Earthquakes game, and it was great to be out there, although I was not invited to the other parts of it. Concert in the Park, I do want to thank again for everyone coming out. It's been a blast out there every week, and I look forward to seeing everyone continuing out there every week and just kind of having fun with us. Regarding community, we have the upcoming Park Clinic for the dogs this Saturday, July 13th, at Strawberry Fields Park, which is right there in my district on Hackett Road, just west of Morgan. It'll include free dog licensing, microchips, and rabies vaccines. You will need to bring back proof that you live in the county. And if your dog does need an update on vaccination, bring that in so that way if it's been already fixed, because that'll reduce your cost for licensing. Also, it was a great partnership with SMBU for the 4th of July event. It was a great evening. I was out there as well. There is a blood drive coming up. It looks like July 9th. There's a lot of stuff going on here in the community center tomorrow. There's a blood drive tomorrow morning, as well as there's an affordable housing town hall meeting tomorrow at 6 p.m. So I look forward to seeing everyone tomorrow, plus concerts in the park. So definitely a busy day tomorrow.
Thank you, council member. Mr. Martinez.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to touch on tomorrow's Concerts in the Park event. There won't be an actual band tomorrow evening. It's going to be a Gada and Barangha Indian folk style dancing event, and the Sikh temple on Hatch will be providing food. So if you're in the area and available to come and check it out, it'll be the first time we've ever had an event like this in the city of Ceres, and so I'm looking forward to going myself. And that's all I have for tomorrow.
Vice Mayor.
Yeah, I just want a quick note. Rosalind and I went out Saturday morning to the Faith Home Teen Ranch that houses the Adult and Teen Challenge. Those of you that don't know, that facility has been helping people for 60 or 70 years. And it was really cool. It was their 6th annual Rogers Run in the name of a gentleman that was very important to them that happened to pass away on his first day of retirement. Pretty sad. But there was a couple hundred people out there. Just amazing attitude. They had a pancake breakfast free for everybody that went out. They were so appreciative of just us being out there, and it was just an amazing atmosphere. So if you have any chance to support that organization, please do. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Casey, anything, sir? Okay,
Nothing.
okay. City manager, sir?
I have nothing to report, sir.
City attorney?
Nothing tonight, Mayor. Thank you.
Department heads? There is one.
Just the job fair on Thursday from 10 to 1 here at the community center. We have over 25 businesses coming on Thursday, so.
And I did have, somebody did call me and ask me what type of businesses will be there. Are they listed, by the way?
They are listed on the EDD website.
So I'll make sure I point them in the right direction. I didn't get a chance to look, but okay.
Mhm.
Thank you. Anyone else? And our supervisor is not here. I did get a missed call from Juan Alanis' office. I'm sure that he just wanted to tell me that he couldn't make it today. But with that, we'll now adjourn this meeting and go to closed session for a conference regarding labor's negotiators. California Government Code 54957-6, agency designated representatives are City Manager Douglas D. Dumford and Human Resources Director Lila Vasquez, and the employers' organization is Laborers International Union of the North America, in addition to a conference with legal counsel for anticipation legal litigation, California Government Code 54956.9, for the one potential case and liability claim, California Government Code 5495695. The claimant is Ruben Juarez, and the agenda claim against is the city of Ceres. Is there anyone in the public who would like to make a speak in regards to this closed session item? Anybody in the public? Any hands raised? Okay. After closed session, I'll return to report out. Thank you, everybody. Welcome back, everybody. On item number 18 and 19, council has been given direction. On item number 20 with the liability claim, the claim has been denied, 5-0 vote. Thank you and have a good night.